Hello and welcome. This is News Now. I'm Shabani Kharat. Now, the US President Donald Trump is heading to Davos for the World Economic Forum. His address is expected at 9 p.m. His address at the global conclave comes at a time when US is locked in a war of words with European powers over Greenland. Trump's Greenland ambition and tariff threats are expected to dominate the discourse at WEF. In the midst of, in fact, an unusual stretch of testing the United States' relation with longtime allies, it seems uncertain what might transpire during Trump's 2 days in Switzerland. Now, my colleague Aisha Faridi is, on ground at the World Economic Forum. She joins in from Davos in Switzerland.
Well, what a day it is today at the World Economic Forum here in Davos in Switzerland. Donald Trump is going to be arriving today, and his presence alone is enough to shake the World Economic Forum out of its comfort zone. And no, I'm not just talking about the traffic snarls or the heightened security. It's a little more than that. Remember, Trump has never been a natural fit here. He distrusts multilateralism, challenges global rule books, and of course, openly takes on the elites who gather here in Davos each year. But yet when Trump speaks, just about everyone sort of listens, because markets, geopolitics, global trade, all of them respond to Trump presidency and each word spoken by him. So what is it that one should expect this time around from Donald Trump? First, of course, trade. Expect a hard America first kind of pitch, very tough language on perhaps unfair trade practices, especially China, and of course a renewed defense of tariffs as a negotiating tool. For global CEOs, of course, that means, fresh uncertainty around supply chains and market access as well. Second, of course, is going to be China and geopolitics. Trump is likely to sort of sharpen his stance on Beijing, perhaps on trade, on technology, strategic rivalry, while of course signaling a more transactional approach to alliances where commitments must deliver a very, very clear return for the US. And of course, how can we not talk about Greenland? The big chatter here in Davos is what's he going to say about Greenland and what's going to be the future of Greenland. Third, of course, is climate and energy. As you know, Davos revolves around climate pledges, but Trump remains skeptical of frameworks. He believes that they hurt growth and expect perhaps a push for, fossil fuels, a little more than what we've already seen in the past from Donald Trump. Expect also a push for energy independence and, of course, deregulation, alongside perhaps some of the criticism of aggressive climate targets as well. Fourth, of course, is going to be markets and business. Trump will position himself as pro-growth and pro-business, as he always has been known to be. Lower taxes, fewer rules for investors, and of course the equation is pretty familiar when it comes to potential upside paired with, of course, policy volatility as well. For Davos, of course, Trump return is uncomfortable at this juncture, but unavoidable as well, because love him or loathe him, when Donald Trump comes to Davos, the global conversation clearly shifts.
Absolutely, love him or loathe him, but when Donald Trump comes to Davos, you have to take notice of it. Ahead of his visit to Davos, Trump addressed the media and took on NATO. Listen in to what he said.
I did more for NATO than any other person, alive or dead. Nobody's done for NATO. And I think for the most part, they'll tell you that. I think you could ask the Secretary General about that, but he said it a lot. I've done more for NATO than anybody, and I see all this stuff, but NATO has to treat us fairly, too. The big fear I have with NATO is we spend tremendous amounts of money with NATO, and I know we'll come to their rescue, but I just really do question whether or not they'll come to ours.
Now, Ashwini,